Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. This is a follow-up from my previous video, a comparison between the original Ripper 1 and the small Dagger Rewind. I recently had the opportunity to get in a medium rewind, thanks to my friend Joe, who I'm here with on the river in the video, and it was quite an enlightening experience. A lot of the issues that I had found with the small rewind were resolved by the medium rewind. Now, obviously, the medium is longer, it is wider, it's generally larger, there's more volume, and so it is less playful. And where that has its advantages in a creek environment and resolves some of the issues that the small seem to have in terms of not carrying its speed and being a little too happy on the tail, some of that was definitely resolved by being in the medium rewind. In fact, when I did attempt to get the tail down, it was a lot harder. This all makes perfect logical sense, and I don't think anyone should be surprised by it. But I just wanted to follow up and, share that I've had the opportunity to try both the medium and the small, and there is, I think, a much more valid comparison in terms of creakability between the original small Ripper and the medium rewind than there is between the small rewind and the original Ripper. Those two boats just are not comparable. They sit in two entirely different camps. One is a playboat that just about manages on a creek, and the other is a fast, downriver, creakable boat with a slightly happier tail to be able to maneuver, but not so much to be able to play. And I would say that the medium rewind sits in the balance there very nicely. The wider hull means that it's more stable. The extra volume means that it's more stable. And the fact that it has just that bit more length means that it will carry its speed in a much more effective manner than the small rewind does. You can see this in a few of the drops, especially later when we come into the gorge in this video. You'll see it really does carry its speed far, far more effectively. It doesn't get caught up in the same way by every tiny hole or stopper. I was also pleasantly surprised with both rewinds, to be honest, with the fact that there is, I would say, slightly more rocker than the Ripper has, but it's not that excessive bow rocker that you see in lots and lots of modern boats. I think that quite often that can produce a laziness in us as kayakers, having too much rocker. It's good to have to learn to lift the nose of your kayak, rather than relying on the design of the boat to do it for you. Here you can see what I mean. We're dropping into the Crux Gorge, and it carries its speed relatively well. I mean, that was a naff line off the top drop there by me, so discount that. But coming through Crux 1 here, you can see it does carry its speed relatively well. It definitely isn't quite as quick as the Ripper. I mean, sample size of 1, so take that with a pinch of salt, but it doesn't seem to carry quite as well. However, the Ripper is much narrower and slightly longer, so that makes sense. But it is stable, very stable. Online, it carries its speed and seems to want to remain online. But if you wanted to twitch edge to edge, it was very easy to do so. I found that you had so much control just through edge to edge transitioning. And bear in mind, I wasn't hugely well outfitted into this because it was Joe's boat and I was just borrowing it. So if I was feeling that without the hips being necessarily particularly connected, that's a good sign to me. Also, this was one of the fattest booths I've ever had off Crux 2. Absolutely beautiful. Very satisfying when you're in an entirely new boat to you and a line goes as well as that did. Anyway, this hopefully is just a little bit of extra enlightenment, I suppose, in the comparison between the OG Ripper and the Dagger Rewind. Hopefully it helps someone out there perhaps to make a decision about the boats that they buy or the boats they choose to use. And for those of you that it doesn't help, I hope that it's nonetheless an interesting comparison. If you like this sort of style of comparative, looking at different designs and paddling them down a river that I know fairly well, and therefore it feels like a consistent sample or consistent test, I suppose, then do let me know in the comments if you're enjoying that. And if there are other boats that you'd specifically like me to test, then let me know and I'll see what I can do, I suppose. There are lots of folks around with different boats to me, so maybe I can borrow some, and it gives me an excuse while I'm currently between boats myself and hunting. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this and you're here for the first time, then please do consider subscribing and dinging that notification bell so that you see when I have new videos coming out. And if you have enjoyed this, then feel free to share it wherever you feel comfortable. Drop a like down below and a comment letting me know where in the world you're watching from perhaps, and what your local river is. Thank you so much, and I will look forward to seeing you in the next one. And if you're one of those people that's hung around for a really long time and supported me, thank you so much. And know that there are the tutorials that I've promised, kick flips and back deck rolls, coming at some point in the future. Thanks very much, and I'll see you in the next one.